showed you where the clamps are, the backer boards, and the glue is. Next, you're going to look on your cut list for legs. We're cutting out and gluing the legs right here. So we needed 8 legs. That's not going to be an octagon or octopus table. It's going to be glued up pieces for thickness. Okay, so each one of these is going to be glued up, as you see here. Okay? I'm also going to show you guys the top here a little bit. Let's put that up to the side. I've got 4 clamps. You're welcome to use more, but 4 is the minimum. Glue gets wiped on by your fingers. It's not toxic. It's not tasty. In my opinion, yes. In my opinion, it's not tasty. All right, but I'm going to cover this entire surface of the wood with glue. And if you zoom in here on the camera, or if you look really, really closely, okay, I've got this entire surface covered, but I can still make out some of the wood grain lines you see underneath the glue. Wow, look at that. I usually just put glue underneath that backer board, but napkins are a choice right there. Very nice. Okay, so I've got one ready to go. Slide that back. Same thing across here. We want to be weary about where this glue is dripping. I've done this for a little while. I wouldn't recommend you guys be wiping the glue on over the pieces, because anything that glue sticks to between 2 pieces of wood is going to cause those pieces of wood to stick together, right? So maybe if I were you, I would come off the side. You can glue your binder now. Put your glue on. That won't be a little bit much right there. See how it comes out. You see how that's starting to drip right there? And it's dripping off my finger. Okay, if it drips onto the floor, drips onto the backer board, not a big deal. If it drips onto your pieces right here, you're going to want to wipe that off right away. Mr. Kurt, red, like, it's on to the future and grab me some napkins. That's pretty cool. Okay, it's messy. I would recommend wearing your favorite shirts on the days that we do this. A couple years ago, I was doing this demonstration, right? I believe it was my wife and my anniversary. I got a bunch of glue right on my shirt. We were going to leave right from work. And wasn't as good of a day. So keep that in mind. You don't want it to be dripping all everywhere. You don't want it to fall on you. I'm kind of leaning over a little bit too, so it's not going to fall on my favorite shoes or my pants. But have that wiped down like that. Now, my clamps have already been set up. Okay? One on each end. Boy, I really think that's here. Maybe we'll go about it this way too. The clamps move. This backer piece right here moves by pinching these 2 pieces together. And slide that up and down against the bar. This right here will loosen and tighten your pieces. Super stuff, ladies. I'm sorry, not too much. I'm going to bring all the pieces together like this. Now note there's no glue in between the individual legs. You guys see that, at least off the sides? See, if we glue this whole thing together, we don't have legs anymore. We've got a gigantic cutting board. Some pro tips right here. Don't put your thumb right there. Okay, you guys see where my thumb is right here? If all of a sudden this gets sticky, when it breaks loose, it's going to go this way because that's where I'm pulling it. And you could bang your finger in there, squeeze it real good. I was given this demonstration a few years ago, and that exact circumstance happened. And what do you say? What do you think I said? My finger got smashed? You don't say it. I said something I shouldn't have. I feel bad. Yeah, but it wasn't Fooey, it was something else. So, yeah. After this little cutout right here is really helpful. So now, I'm snug. I'll move them together. Now there's, at some point, some of these will actually bend and bow. And if you zoom in here, you can see this, or you crowd in, you can see a little bit of a bow right here. The glue is stronger than the actual wood. So as I start to clamp these together, you'll see that bowing go away. The wood will get squeezed together from the clamp, and you'll watch where the glue squeeze out. It's really kind of eyeballing here where we are going to see some squeeze out. I'm shifting a little bit. I want to stay as even as possible throughout here while I'm clamping up. So go slow on this process. You've got probably about 20 working minutes with this tight bond before it actually sets up. And if our eyes are right through here now, we can start to see that glue squeeze out. Really kind of a fun thing in my opinion to watch. If you're not seeing this amount of glue squeeze out, you should probably back it off and go add more. If all of a sudden it's sopping down and just like a swimming pool underneath, you get some cleanup after. Okay, but they will be glued together, you can be assured of that. Use some muscle when you're putting these legs together. Then, after you've got them tightened, on each individual leg, once you write your name, Miller, the hour 1, then I also want you guys to record the time. It's 8:15. 8:15. Please they know why I might want to record the time. Know when it's dry. The dry time for this is a little bit more than 1 hour. So potentially if you were coming back after school, and we glue these up at 8:15, and all of a sudden now it's 2:30, okay, you can take these apart and they will be dry enough to work with. If you got studying hall third hour, come in at 10 o'clock, these will be dry enough to work with. Okay? I think on the bottles they say 1 whole day. If we're gluing up rocking chair legs or something that is really going to take a lot of force, we probably want to wait that full day. But for legs like this, 1 hour is probably sufficient. So that on each and every leg right here. Make sure we're tight here. Now to pick this up, it's going to be pretty heavy. It's going to be all 8 of those legs and 4 clamps. If you need to get a buddy to help you, that's fine. You don't want to pick it up and then get glue all over itself, but it can't stay here. So what I like to do is pick it up like this. Okay, right now the heavy part is on bottom. Now we're just going to sneak these between the machines along this wall right here. Okay, they can't go in this corner here. Say that again. They cannot go in this corner over here. Might seem the most obvious, best place, but that is a fire exit, so we can't have things in the way of this corner over here. Any questions on the legs? It's going to look something like this. Now getting your clamps ready is kind of an important thing too. I didn't really cover on the legs. So I'm going to get these clamps so that the spinning part of the clamp is hanging off over the table. If it's on the table like this one is right here, it's really hard for me to get my hand underneath it. And it's not actually spinning backwards right now. So back it off towards the edge of the table. Okay, first time it's kind of awkward, so before you get any glue going, get your clamp set up. So when it's time to go, you won't be fumbling with the clamps while there's wet glue dripping everywhere. Gluing up a panel is a little bit different than gluing up a cutting board or legs for your end table. We need to have square edges like this. This one is square. It's just been burnt a little bit by the table saw, which is just fine. As long as we can put these together and there's no gaps between here, then we'll be okay. It's going to be a lot harder for these clamps to overcome a bowl on the edges than it is the faces when we're gluing up a cutting board or legs. Okay? Who thinks they know how they can quickly square up an edge? Joiner. Absolutely. Okay, if all of a sudden you realize you've got one chewed up edge, one shot through the jointer, take care. You don't have to put your clamps away, just walk over, quickly joint it, and we're good to go. Because when we push this back here, we should see a beautiful pattern and no gaps. Okay? No gaps on the ends, no gaps in the middle. This is what we should see. It might be overkill for a panel this small. But we also want to take into consideration something else. This right here is called the crown. Typically, I only share this with the advanced kids. But if we look at these wood grain lines on the end grain, that's kind of how the growth ring is going right there. You guys all see that? This one I've actually marked already. That's funny, I haven't done this year. You all see that? Okay, if you're having trouble with this too, just reach out to me. And just also understand, end table assignment, this one isn't as big of a deal here. It's kind of hard to see. So to have this correctly laid out, so it's not going to bow or warp in the future, we want to see that. We want to see alternating crowns. Alternating crowns. Does everybody see that? Alternating crowns. Because that's kind of nice to know, because as the top of your end table, this is going to be what everyone sees, what everybody admires. There's a big gap in there. If it starts to bow after a couple of years, it's going to be kind of a bummer, right? So we want to get that right. You can also look at where the wood grain is going. You can flip things around. You put them out of order, but we definitely want those crowns to still be alternate. You see how I move that, but it's still going that way? Perfect. Then applying the glue is just like doing the legs or a cutting board, if you've seen that one first. Wipe it out with your finger. Not toxic, not tasty. Wipe it off on the underside of the table or a rag, not your buddy. It's also a really good reason to have your backpacks hung up by the door and not underneath the tables, because everybody see where the drips are going? On the floor. On the floor. If your backpack's there, you're not going to be a happy guy. If someone else's backpack too is down there, be a good friend and either move it for them or move where you are setting up. Wiping on the glue so it covers the whole surface and I can still see some wood grain underneath of it. You are correct, because I flipped it that way. Okay. Yeah. How are we doing now? Better? Good eye. Thank you. I hate it when I mess these up and I got it on video. All right. For a panel, we are going to clamp this up tight, but we're only going to do one top per clamp setup. If you guys look back here to my legs, I can probably fit another set of legs on there. And so if you and another student want to team up and put all your legs on one set of clamps, totally acceptable. We're not going to do that with panel glue-ups, okay? What could happen as you're tightening these is it could actually bow up and then explode if we're putting on a whole bunch of like football muscle or wrestling muscle on these sort of things, okay? Gonna flush up my ends as best I can. Close. Watch the glue squeeze out. Clamps are probably older than me. So be nice to them. Don't yell at them. See if you don't yell at me. See that squeeze out? That's a good thing. I'm moving quickly for the video's sake. You guys should not be moving as quickly as I am. Go slow, take your time, ask questions, try not to make a mess. I got a marker up here. I still need to write my name and the hour and the time on here, but should I use a marker or pencil? Pencil. Pencil, yes. Miller. Hour 1, 8:23. Nice. Store these in between the machines up here. Be ready by the time you guys get here tomorrow. Any questions, comments, concerns? Not doing nothing. Awesome. We're cleaning up today at 8:50. If you have questions about grades, I'll be at my desk for about the next 5-10 minutes. Otherwise, if you're ready to rock and roll, let's grab our safety glasses, roll for kids, get to work.